Hi, I'm Tyler, and welcome to another episode of my Christian Music Week reviews. Each week I take 5 releases, albums, EPs, or singles, and after I'm listening to them all week, I come back here and I review them. I share what I think about them. So without further ado, let's get to this week's first release. 116's new EP, We Are Unashamed. 116's new EP, We Are Unashamed. Let's dive into it. So, pretty good EP here. So, with it being a 116 EP, let's take care of the first order of business. The lineup here. So, this EP features 5 out of 9 of Reach Records artists. Meaning, while we do not have Lecrae, Annie Mineo, What Up RG, or Holby, we do have, on this EP, Tadashi, Trip Lee, Gobby, 1K Few, and One Day. And as for the sound here, it's a hip-hop EP that keeps the energy going throughout. And as for the lyrics here, so before I dive into the message of the lyrics, let me just note that there's a few different languages used on this CP, plus a couple older Lecrae tracks sampled. So the first song, Represent 2, is all English, and as the title suggests, samples Lecrae's song Represent. La Que Sepa is mostly Spanish, is all Spanish actually, except for the English sampling of Lecrae's song Jesus Music at the start and end of the song. And then the closing track, 0202 Issy, hope I pronounced that right, is all English, except for the Igbo translation of 116 being used in the hook. And now, as for the message of the lyrics, so, pretty good lyrics here. 116 talks about how they are on fire and not holding back from being unashamed. For the God who brought them a long way from being criminals trapped in sin to being royalty, no matter what opposition comes against them. Up next, Buffalo Music's Jonathan David and Melisssa Helser's new EP, The Land I'm Living In, Day 1. Jonathan David and Melisssa Helser of Buffalo's new EP, The Land I'm Living In, Day 1. Let's dive into it. So, pretty good EP here, even if the songs can drag out a little bit at times. Stylistically here, definitely an alternative worship feel here. And as for the lyrics here, love the lyrics here on this EP. Jonathan David and Melisssa talk about how God, in his mercy, through the giving of his son Jesus' blood, has chased away shame's accusations that were forsaken, and has chased after us, his beloved, who are coming home to him whose kingdom we yield our hearts to. Up next, Brandon Reed Brandon Reed's new album, Brandon Reed and Friends. Brandon Reed's new album, Brandon Reed and Friends. Let's dive into it. So let's start off with what the title of this album suggests. That this live worship experience, Brandon Reed brings along a few friends for the ride, including Dara McClain, Josh Aaron, Joshua Stewart, and John Michael Howell. And as for the quality of the album itself here, pretty good album here. The songs can drag on a little longer than I would like at a few points. But overall, the 2000s era throwback worship sound here makes this album a winner with me. And as for the lyrics here, love the lyrics of this album too. They talk about welcoming with praise the God who in his never-ending love that we can't earn waits for us with arms wide open to welcome us to his table, satisfy us, wash our hearts with the Holy Spirit, and let our worries fade away as we cast our cares on him. Up next, Xander Sallows and Sam Bowman. Xander Sallows and Sam Bowman's new EP, Fake Strong. Let's dive into it. So, on the first listen, I'll admit, there were some parts that I thought sounded a little weird and I wasn't sure if I was that into it. But by the second and third listen, I had pretty much gotten past this, and it's a good EP, I would say. Stylistically here, definitely a pop feel that can get danceable at times. And definitely some strong synth pop and EDM influences as well. And as for the lyrics here, pretty good lyrics here. Xander and Sam talk about how they were brokenhearted until God found them and allowed them to see the light that allows them to fly again. And now they want to brighten up other broken people as well, while not forgetting to take advice from others. Up next, our last release for today, Andy Cherry's new album, Invocation. Andy Cherry's new album, Invocation. Let's dive into it. So, pretty good live album here. Stylistically, it's an alternative worship feel. And as for the lyrics here, love the lyrics to this album. Andy talks about us singing in faith to the God who is the healing river of life, who faithfully stays with us through every season, satisfies us, and is mighty to turn our burdens into all things new. Not because he has to, but because in his full love, he delights to do so. And he also talks about how, in return, we give our whole lives as a love offering to God, because he is worthy for the reasons that I mentioned beforehand. Well, that's it for this week. Come back next week for 5 more releases. If you like what's on this video, please subscribe. I put out videos every Friday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Time. Also, if you have any thoughts on today's releases or what I may have said about them, let me know that in the comments below. Also in the comments, you can let me know if there's any awesome releases that came out today that you want to see in next week's video. Also, check out the playlist section for my Music Muffin Dreams playlist available here on YouTube and also on Spotify. And this month's edition of the playlist is going to stay up for a few more days yet, through the end of the month. This month's edition featuring songs from artists like David Dunn, Building 429, KB, and others. And the new edition of My Music Muffin Dreams is going to come out on February 1st, this Tuesday, so be looking out for that. Well, go now. See you next week. Bye!